Hey everybody, how's it going? And it's cold here again. Although it's not in the 30s, it's in the 50s today, but still cold. And I don't like the cold. Anyway, Infinity, Larry, Dan, Sergio, Wade, Kevin, Kenneth, JB, Francois, Arturo, Laura, Donald, Kimberly, my favorite subscriber ever. Right there. Hey, babe. General Rush, good to have you, sir. Rosalind, David, Maurizio, Craig, Nikki. Glad to see everybody this morning. And Tesla earnings came out last night. Dun, 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 dun. Anybody know how we're doing? Anybody? Want to comment? Looks like we're up on Tesla. Beautiful. Hey, what? 15 points? 16 points. Almost 17 points. Nice. Look at this right here. It's a messy chart. I know. Got lots of stuff going on. But looks like we're going to dip out of this reversal zone. Pow, right up there. Dun, 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 dun. Now, what's next, though? We got to get up through this resistance right here where we gap down from the last earnings. Oh, my goodness. That's a long way to go. That is a long way to go. And one reason I was a strong proponent of adding some TSLA off the low, back up to just the gap fill. It's like a 50% gain. Holy moly. What have I been saying the last few days? 50% gain. Yeah, fanfare tunes and all. Yeah. Yep. Anyway, I was pretty excited because I bought about... all honesty, I bought about 1,700, maybe a few more shares of TSLA right before the close yesterday. And that looks like a good deal. Cha-ching. And just back up to the roadmap line. Oh, baby. That's a double. That's what I'm talking about right there. Anyway, a little bit of a gamble? Sure. I mean, don't play with leverage stuff. I didn't buy options, just bought shares. Anyway, here we go. Just sharing what I'm doing. I may liquidate some of those off today. I don't know. We'll see. Depends on what happens. Wait, no. I bought over 2,000 shares. Yeah, because I bought a 500 chunk, another 500 chunk. 1,000 chunk, 200 chunk. It's what you like. It's hard to keep up with when you got like 14 trading accounts. Anyway, alrighty. So that's Tesla for you, right? Looks pretty dang good. Now, sorry about starting late. I was working on a new indicator thing, not the one I was showing off. This is something totally new. It's a global liquidity indicator, and gotta run it in Python. Anyway, we'll see how that works out. So the whole premise, I've talked about this in the past, is that there's a 98% correlation to global liquidity and the stock market. The U.S. stock markets are 98% correlated. You know, I'm a big proponent on correlation and causation. Like, you got to get them straight, right? When it's correlated, it's correlated. When it's not, it's not. But forever, there's been a 98% correlation between global liquidity, which I don't know how to pull that up on TradingView at the moment, and the stock market. I'm building this thing that pulls multiple data sources to kind of sum up a global liquidity and generate a chart for me in Python. And we'll see if that pans out. I found some code on Medium, and I'm trying to make it work. So interesting. All right. Anyway, before we get too into the weeds here, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining. It is not a recommendation to be buying or selling anything or buying anything from gurus. Don't buy, don't trade. All right. Don't buy stocks, don't buy options, don't buy Forex, don't buy futures, don't buy cryptos, don't buy bonds, don't buy treasuries, don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. There's a substantial risk of loss. Right? Every trade, buyer, seller, somebody's a winner, somebody's a loser. Could be buyer and seller winner or loser. I don't know. Every trade is different, and there's a substantial risk of loss. And if you desire personal financial advice, like you're just like, I just don't know what to do, JT, tell me. Don't ask me. That's not fair. All right. I'm not giving personal financial advice. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. You got to make your own decisions in this game. I don't know your personal financial situation. All right. Like everybody's different. Even if you give people, if you gave a room full of people, 10 people, $1 each, and you said, you got to the end of the day to do something with your dollar, I bet you there's 10 different things people do. And maybe 2 people do a similar thing, but I bet you at the end of the day, everybody's got something different. Especially if you gave them like $1,000 and said, hey, here's your $1,000. What are you going to do with it? And I bet you everybody has a different amount of dollars left at the end of the day. So I can't tell you what to do with your own money because I don't know your situation. I don't know your history. I don't know your past. I don't know what you've done. I don't need to know. I don't want to know. I'm just here to try to guide you. So, and remember, when you hire a financial advisor, make sure that they got your financial best interest in mind. I mean, make sure you trust them, I guess. Most people out there just try to make some of your money into some of their money. I mean, it doesn't matter what you're talking about, whether it's Burger King or, McDonald's or getting your gutters on your house or hiring a plumber or, paying a financial advisor. Doesn't matter. Coming up on Friday, dun, 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 we have PCE right here. Core PCE coming out on Friday. That'll be the big mover of the week, more than likely, as far as economic news was. Although we do have some pending home sales and some advanced GDP on tomorrow. Yeah, Thursday. Tomorrow. That might be a mover too. If this comes in spicy, might get a pullback. That's one to watch out for. If this one comes in spicy, we might see a pullback. So those are two. Of course, maybe they come in spicy and we still get a rally. I don't know. We'll see. Charts, we kind of overdid this drop a little bit. Now, I do caution though. So let's just go over here because it's nice and clean. Right here. Look at this. This is the warning zone. And that's interesting how it says green for the day, but it shows a red candle for the day. Right here, this zone, like if we rally up there today, if we do this today, GDP may do this to us. Yeesh. GDP and PCE, we could do that very, very, very easily right there. Everybody knows what this is, right? If you're new here, that's called the roadmap line. All right, the market roadmap. That's my roadmap line. Very, 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 very common that we bounce off of that. All right, or we go visit it. The last time we were visiting down here, back in October, and we pushed a little deeper, trying to go for the weekly, but we came up quite a bit shy. I think it was a 3-day. We touched the 3-day right there. Back in October, November. We're a long way away from the 3-day now. That would be a wicked correction there. All the way down to 4,500. If we decide to do that. So. Do I want to see it? Not really. Not really. But it's possible. It's hanging out there. All right. Now, daily, much more likely. Much more likely. There we go. We haven't been down there for a while. So if you want this, link is in the description. It's like $5 to get this thing and a weekly watch list for like 3 months. And you get in Discord, which is where all the fun happens. Got all sorts of stuff going on in Discord. All my top traders hanging out there all day, sharing stuff. So that's the zone to watch out for. That's the way you watch out for that move. Now, if we break above that 5250 area right there, this is S&P 500 futures. If you've never seen this chart before, S&P 500 futures. This, how do you get the futures? Go to tradingview.com and type in ES1 exclamation point right there. Now, if you're like, well, I use Thinkorswim. I don't like TradingView. Well, just type /ES and you'll pull up the same kind of information. Most platforms are /ES/NQ/RTY/CL/GC. It's a /. But for whatever reason, TradingView decided to put one exclamation point as the way to pull these up. I didn't make the platform, but that's how you pull it up. And these are delayed data, slightly, like 10 minutes, I think, by default. And just keep it in mind, all right? Like if you're setting alerts, S&P 500 is the cash index. Why do I use futures over the cash index? Well, look, the cash index isn't moving. It closes when the market closes and then reopens and creates these gaps. Gap, 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 gap. I don't like the gaps. Gaps are an absence of information. So I'll pay attention to the futures. You notice there's much less gaps going on here because they trade almost 24/7. That's 23.5 really. They close on Friday at 5 p.m. and then open on Sunday at 6 p.m. and they're closed 5 to 6 p.m. every weekday. That's kind of how that rolls. So right there, short term, probably going to retest that 15-minute, maybe even a 30-minute, maybe even an hourly. You can see, looks like we need a retest on a bunch of time frames. Now, 4-hour, right up there near that resistance. So we retrace those smaller time frames, pop this. That's kind of like the path we've got going on right now. You see these very consistent pullbacks, kind of hanging in a tight channel, relatively tight channel. Now, channels and trend lines are the least reliable of technical indicators, but we're kind of hanging right in this channel here so far. I would expect this to pop on up. Now, come 8:30 tomorrow, if GDP is spicy, we could pull down. It's my big warning. All right. Stay nimble, stay quick. It's not being wrong that costs you money. It's staying wrong. Don't stay wrong in the face of new information. If we're going to break down below this channel, watch out. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Now the candle body's kind of floating like that on the 4-hour. We get down to the 1-hour. Yeah. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. I like it when it's all nice and tight, clean. I don't like it mucky. Mucky charts lead to indecision and difficult trading environment. So I like it when it's nice and clean. In Q, same situation. Nice rally off the lows. And we've got the resistance up here at 18.1. It's going to be a stretch to get up there today. Well, we could very well do it. It's a stretch. RTY also has that resistance right up here around 2071-ish, 2070, 2080, somewhere in that zone right up there. Those are all major resistances. Oh, look, the market's open. FXI closed out. Cachao. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. That trade was probably started before I built my indicator. Anyway, maybe like JT, what are you talking about? Indicator. This sounds interesting. Check this out right here. Trading View throws is my experimental setup for my Termite Trading Lab group. Right here, let's just mark all these red. And right there, you can see dun, 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 dun. Trading View threw out that alert, and that, my custom bot that I wrote myself, Mike's Alerts, says, hey, that was a closing order. So there you go. Handy dandy. CL. Jump back up to the daily. Look at where we are. Riding the channel, baby. Same kind of channel that the market's in. That could be the bottom. Now, I would have liked to see, my preference is to see a touch right down here. We may not do it. That may be it. Maybe just riding a 4-hour bounce. At which case, that high, that low. Break above the 618. Potential to run higher right up here. 89, 92. 90 is the target I've been holding for, gosh, however many weeks I've been talking about that. So Tesla squeezes started, eh? Yeah, we'll circle back to Tesla here in a minute. It's down on the list. All right, GC, hit the highlights here, and then we'll come back. And let's just clear all this, move all these drawings. 4-hour bounce, possibly. Or we could go on down a little bit. That daily, way down there. Not so sure we're going down to the daily. We may get a little deeper than we've gone so far, though. I mean, look at that move. That move was pretty epic right there. It would not surprise me one bit to retrace that back down, even to the 50%, right down here where we consolidated, get near that, and find a bottom. Now, the more clear chart, maybe GLD here, where we'd see, excuse me, a retrace a little deeper, possibly down to 208. Now, that all said, the small time frame, come on, has a reversal cooking right here. Bouncing up, trying to get through. If we can close above that, this thing's pretty likely we're going to go at least right up to 2350 again. Just kind of where we've been finding some resistance. So, right there. All right, moving on. Bitcoin, just kind of consolidating. Moved up at the bottom of that resistance box where we consolidated for, what, 2 weeks? Need to break back up through that to get the extension higher. All right, there's opportunity that this move was complete because it's very much symmetrical. Went through that last night. If you missed the 30 minutes of awesome where I talked about why that is, go check it out. We pop up here, 77, 78 area, upside. And if we get down, if we start pushing down below these kind of lows we set right here, right into having, probably gonna go visit this roadmap line on the daily. Probably. Now, where's the high likelihood pattern at this point? There's not one. We're either going to break up above this resistance or break down below the support. As long as we're in between, there's nothing high probability cooking at the moment. Ethereum here, showing a little more strength, but this is in a down channel. I talk about these channels, you know, we've got this kind of down channel cooking at the moment. And we did touch on the spot market. Got to jump over the spot market. Why don't I use the spot market all the time? Because there's no unified price. Like, this is just TradingView's spot market price. Like, there's no centralized exchange for crypto. So every different chart you pull up is going to have different prices. That's just, I don't like that necessarily as far as charting goes. So I tend to lean toward the futures that are certified by CME. But it doesn't mean that they're any more better or worse than the spot market. It's just that the spot market, every chart you pull up is going to be different. So you got to kind of stay on the same chart. Because if you go to TradingView's all-time history and then you pop over to Coinbase and you're like, well, the numbers are different and it didn't hit the roadmap line over here, but it did over here. And you start you're making it way more complicated. Right now we're hanging in this downtrend channel in Ethereum. And there's risk out here that Ethereum is classified as a security right in front of the spot ETFs that are supposed to be approved sometime in mid-May. I don't have the exact date yet. I think it's roughly the 15th. If that gets classified as a security, we can have a knee-jerk reaction that can lead to a much deeper correction down here. And we've been up pretty good, although it is kind of a 3-move situation, which is not giving me high confidence. We could easily see a move back down to this zone right here, or even a lower low down in this zone. Yeah, that's 500. Now 600, 600. We could see a move down in there. That would be pretty epically horrible for Ethereum. Be careful. That's what I got to say on that one. Now, popping over and looking at the daily on dollar. Actually, I should go back to the chart where I actually have stuff drawn. Dollar right here. We are in this. We poked up through this resistance from this prior high all the way back here in November. And we're just kind of hovering right there. Building up a little bit of energy. We're highly likely, like 80% likely to pop up and hit this $1.60, $1.50, $1.60 area. $108.60 area right up here. 108.6, 1085, 1086, highly likely. Tesla circling back again. Oh, retracing. Thought we might do that a little bit. That was a big pop. Lots of people pretty bearish. We may retest that right there before we get some bullish action going. SMCI, get a little bit of pop, came down really dang close to that roadmap line. Now we may retrace it right back up to the 618 level, right back up here. That's why I drew a big arrow and get continuation lower. That would be a wild swing right back up to 1,000, and then watch out. Just warning you. Be a classic move. This classic move. AVGO also getting a little bit of bounce. Didn't quite come down to the roadmap line. This one also could retrace that. It's kind of, wow, it found a lot of support in that zone. Been a pretty good support zone right there. I would watch out if we turn down at this 618, this 1350 area one more time. Might bust down and actually tag the roadmap line. LRCX. There are a lot of tickers on the list today. LRCX, potential to go even deeper here. I don't even remember what I said last time. Looks like a lot of stuff. Let's just clean this chart up. Clean it up, buttercup. Like, simple as this. Roadmap line is support. There's potential upside. 1040, 1080. Probably highly likely that we're going to see a move down in this roadmap line sooner or later. I venture on sooner. I mean, you can see what it kind of does here, but could be later. Could be over here. I mean, we could go higher first. Could. Lots of coulds. Infinite possibilities. The most likely would be move down here, and I just wait for the move down here and the reversal because that's a high probability trade. Betting on it coming down, and NVIDIA, same situation. Looks like we may retrace up to the 618, and then we could get a further decline. Maybe, maybe not. If we bust through it, potential to go up to new highs, 1033. FNGU bounced off the roadmap line. We get back up here, sets the odds. We're going back up to 381. TMO, that one already on the way. Already on the way. This is exactly the pattern I'm talking about. Oh, look at that. Dun, 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 dun. IWO. Oh, that's a different time frame. Be careful on that one. That alert. That's my own alert right there. That probably setting up, maybe cruising on up here. I have a long-term resistance at these highs, like that high, that high, that high, that high, that high. You see these highs right here. Nice resistance right there. That's why the target's sitting there and not up here at 623. Be careful. It may find significant resistance. There's been sellers every single time we've hit that level for 2 years. You don't think there's going to be sellers again? I bet there are. So if we pop up, be careful when we get to this zone. Sellers may come out of the woodworks. VRT. Apparently that was enough retrace to go cruising again. Right up to the target. 97 above that. ATN. Yeah, that one looks like it wants to come down here. Okay. Just throwing that out there. That looks like it wants to come down. Doesn't have to. It's been a little while. Definitely didn't give up much. Now, we could go break it out. Entirely possible. That did a 3-wave retrace. That could be done. Could just be a smaller time frame. Like 1 hour. Didn't even get close on the 4 hour. So, there you go. Meta reporting earnings. What, today? Is that today? Yeah, Wednesday after the close. So Meta coming in hot after the close. And so we popped up. We just gapped up here to the 1272. We kind of drifted a little higher. Couldn't make it to the 1618. Retraced it back down into the top of this consolidation here. popping a little bit today. That's really a coin flip. If there ever was a coin flip, this is upside resistance, 565. This is support at 463. That's 100 points difference. And this is support down here at the roadmap line where we gapped up from all the way down there at 399. I don't know. That's a coin flip. I don't have high confidence on that one. I'd probably 55% go with a drop, probably 45 on a pop, but it might be closer. It might be more like 51% drop, 49% pop. Oh, it's pretty balanced here. Yeah, we are hanging above support, so maybe up, but the way we've kind of arced down, it makes me think slightly higher odds to go down, but you got to make your own choice there. Whatever you're feeling. ASML, so close to coming back to the roadmap line. That one right there needs to finish this baby up, and resistance is right there. If we pop up there, watch for a turn down to there. BIIB. Good morning, everybody. If you want to chat with me like all the fine folks saying, hey, good morning, all you got to do is be a subscriber on the channel. Just hit the subscribe button. A few seconds later, you can talk on the live chat while I'm live. If I'm no longer live, you're going to have to leave a comment down below. BIIB, right down to supports. There's nothing I can say here. Nothing high probability. That's support, and it may rally back up to the roadmap line like we did over here. Could take a while. It's biotech, it's pharma. I don't like messing with that. TXN potentially bouncing off the roadmap line. Clean this chart up. That moved down. Target 182, possibly 189, but it's also in the middle of all this garbage over here. See how it rejects. You don't think it's going to reject again? May very well. We may get a move up to that 182, but we may also reject it pretty hard. NOW. Oh, so close. So close. That high. I'd really like to see that push just a little lower, but there you go. That's the resistance right there. Target zone up here. And support down at the roadmap line at this point. So there you go. Closer to support than it is to resistance, but that doesn't mean it won't go lower. Riley, nice pop. Giving it back pretty quickly, though. Excitement seems to be waning. May retrace it back down to the roadmap line here. Could be a potential bottom. Further downside could be down here. At this point, it's set up kind of another lowest low. Top of that retrace. Confluence. I don't like that. Potential confluence on the downside. Got to hold above the roadmap line and move higher than some of this. There's no set of higher highs at this point. That's like consolidation, a move up. It can easily come right back down into that consolidation. I don't even know why it was popping today. Annual report. Threw out their annual report. WAB. Nice. That's just insane. That's weird. Wonder when they have earnings like practically back to back. That's kind of weird. Well, Westinghouse apparently doing pretty dang good. no ability to project anything off of that. That's just an insane move. So if we go all the way back here, yeah. Potential next area of resistance up here at 213 area. But a retrace highly likely at this point before we do that, or on the way. Could come up here, stall, retrace before we get up there. I would not just expect another giant gap up. NXPI down to the roadmap line. That high, that low. We break above this 277. And you may be like, well, how reliable is that? It's 84% likely if we trigger that entry right there above that 618, going up to 277. The powerful tool I built here. That's what powers those Discord alerts I showed off there a minute ago. HLT. Well, that could be it for the retrace. If we turn down from here, and we right into this resistance right here. Resistance zone. We turn down from here. We can easily push on lower. Easily. I'm optimistic, but also very cautious. That would put us right at the roadmap line. Perfect target with the symmetry of the moves. That first move and the second move being equality. ADI, that's just chopping sideways. Nothing that I like to see. Hitting highs again. Do have resistance up above us at 206 too. Also, I don't know. Not clear on that chart. Humana going for the extension 292. MHO. Well, resistance there. Potential target up here, support down here. Got to get above that to go up there. Let's see the statistics on this one. Yeah, 78% likely if we fire it off. So if we get above that 618 level, the daily close, about 78% of the time, we'll cruise on up to about that 148, 149 area right up there. I go for 90% of the way to the 1272. So I commonly refer to these as fuzzy zones in a lot of my classes. Everybody can draw the fib lines, all right? The bots, the algos, humans, we can all draw the fib lines. Sometimes, very rarely do we hit it right on the penny. You know, a lot of times we'll push right through a little bit, a little overexcitement. Sometimes we start selling before we get there on the algos. So I call them fuzzy zones, and I usually go for 90% of the way there as far as the target goes. And then make my decision to get out or try to go for more based on what's happening. If it's like really enthusiastic, it'll keep cruising on through. If it's showing some lackluster, kind of slowing down a little bit, some sellers coming in, I'll go ahead and book my profit. All right. Visa. Right here. Check this baby out. Right in my targets. And it needs a retrace back down to this daily. Look. It loves to hit this and find support. Hadn't done it since back here in October. Probably going to do it eventually. Maybe one of these where we do this little boop. So, I mean, we did that almost. It looks almost exactly the same right here. See this move right here? Just smaller, kind of, a little bit smaller. See that right there? Has the gap up and everything in there. Market tends to repeat. Tends to do the same things over and over. We're just humans. We're just algos. Right? Humans created the algos. Boeing in the reversal zone here. Could we go a little deeper? That would be ideal for me. See this push just a tad bit lower. Kind of want to see it come right down here. One more good flush out. Find that support. Turn and burn, baby. We're going to have to get above the roadmap line. This is a different pattern than I usually talk about right here. Waiting for this to bottom out. A long-term target. I mean, we're talking This could be like the next 5, 6, 7 years for this to happen. Look, this one took 22, 23, 24, or 23. Yeah, that one took 2 years. This one could take 3 to 5 times longer. So we could be talking 6 years, 10 years for the next move to top out. This correction happened pretty dang fast, though. I like it. Gives me encouragement that this may be a bottom. I don't care about the news. I had this big down arrow before any new bad news started on Boeing. Everybody can talk trash all they want. This thing can find a bottom and start higher 6+ months before good news starts on Boeing. Bulls is right down to the roadmap line. Break above that, 168. ANET. I think I mistyped SOX. ANET has come down to the roadmap line. Break above that, 382 or 328. Golly. 100%. 7 times it's done this before. 100% of the time it'll go for that 1272. If we trigger that 618 move, you want to bet on something that's done it 7 times in the past? There you go. Takes about 21 bars usually between the time it breaks above here and the time it gets up there. That's 21 trading days. That's a little over 4 weeks. 5 trading days in a week. Yeah, I think that was supposed to be SOXX. Mistyped. Yeah, SOXX, very close to a roadmap bounce. Not quite. Not quite there. That high, that low. There's your resistance. If NVIDIA turns down, this one's probably going down too. Marriott Hotels. Same situation. These don't matter. This isn't a roadmap bounce yet. We didn't touch. So these statistics don't come into play right now for this one until we do touch. mRNA. Ugh, I don't like that. Not my favorite right there. Upside. Resistance. Downside. Support. And we're kind of in the middle of a coin flippy consolidation zone. SMH. So same situation as many of the other semiconductors. Resistance right up here. And support down here. APH. Well, that one's going for another extension. How high does she go? 122, 126, potential up there. Hasbro. Wow, nice candle. It's making local higher highs, but we still have this large resistance to come bust through to prove we're going to go higher. Can they save the day? I mean, that's a wicked looking, like this may be just part of the correction here. On the weekly chart, we could be retesting that roadmap line, but we're below it on the weekly. That can lead to this lower low right here. I'm just saying, this looks kind of no bueno on a bigger picture time frame thing here. Parallel channel. Got this cooking. Got this cooking. Could be a while. You know, it could be 26, could be 28 before we bottom out on the Hasbro here. Could be a while. On Simi. That one gets a lot of those bounces. And on the daily charts, that's not cool. Definitely not like many of the other semiconductors. This one's pushing lower. Target down here 56, possibly even down to 50. Not done, like has not been able to do any kind of higher highs at this point. ARM despite popping a day, I still have a feeling that we're going to see a further flush right back down. Nothing changed there. Dell, that was a crazy-ish pop, but we may see a retrace right here. This one has not been nearly as crazy as SMCI, though. Like, they sell more GPU servers than SMCI. That's just, most people don't think of that, but crap. Go back to Dell. Try to hit the compare button. SMCI. And look at this. Dell versus SMCI. Like, even if you just go to the current craze, SMCI, Dell. Dell sells more GPU servers than SMCI. Why would this be so hyped up? There's opportunity. This reminds me a lot of Bitcoin and MSTR. There's opportunity for these two to come together at some point out here. Like, Dell could rally, SMCI could fall, or they both could just plummet. Either way. Caution is advised, is what I would say there. Yeah, it reminds me a lot of this, like MSTR. And we add Bitcoin to the mix. Look right here. From this last rally, MSTR being ridiculous, Bitcoin. These two are likely to come together some point over here, performance-wise. The one that's hyped up has the bigger opportunity to drop than the one that's lagging to pop. I'm just throwing that out there. Roadmap line, reasonable place for MSTR to come. Dun, 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 dun. Modding, manufacturing is in kind of a down channel. If we break out and head north, we could get out of this funk, but I mean, that could be enough retrace. We kind of bottomed in a prior bottoming zone right here. Could that be enough to take us higher? Sure. Break above this 98, possibly going on up to 112. I don't think that hit. And just shy on the 4 hour. Just shy. So it makes it down to 1 hour, and that was kind of a little deep. Deeper than I like to see, but let's look at the statistics on that. Yeah, 75, almost 76% of the time. 49 trades. Not too shabby. Break above here. Might rally up here. 110. USD. Semiconductor ETF. Almost back to the roadmap line. Same as all the others. We may see a rally back to the 618 level. Hold and turn down. BSX. What time is it? It's 10 o'clock now. BSX, Boston Scientific, popping up here. Crazy pop. Leaving the train station. That's beyond the targets. That's getting to be bubble territory. Watch for a retrace. I don't think we have anything that makes any sense here. Oh, maybe. Right up to the 70 resistance. 97 would be above that. CRWD. Daily roadmap line would be where I would expect this to come back to. Airbnb. Same Z's. Popping up here. Watch for the retrace. Watch for that resistance. If we can get above that resistance, 174 on the upside for the next move. Looks like 4 hour bounce. Statistics on 4 hour bounces, 0% of the time they work. There's only one trade though. It's not a very, Airbnb doesn't have a long history to pull years and years of bounce data. So microchip. Choppy. sideways, hanging out in the resistance. It's shown to turn down once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times from the same area till it proves we're going to get through. Nothing. AMD on the daily. Potential roadmap bounce. It has done the touch. Has the potential. It's kind of like the Matrix. You got the potential, but you're waiting on something. Got to wait on a move up here, or we could see a deeper pull down here. AMAT. Looking for that. SOXL. There's your 3x leverage that has hit the roadmap line already. Unlike a lot of the other ones, it with the outperformance with the 3x leverage, it actually hit. And resistance is up here. And it's going to flow with whatever the other ones do. Like this one's not going to do something different than SOXX, SMH, USD, all those other ones. This one's not going to do something that those don't do. So if this one pops up here, turns down, we're probably going to do a deeper retrace on SOXL. If we can get above, just like all the others, probably going on up for another extension. Resistance right up here to contend with. XLY, retraced. VST, looking for that to retrace. STM, that looks pretty bad. Big microchip producer or small, can't even remember what you call them, embedded chips, and just chopping sideways. TSM, looks like that one wants to come back to the roadmap line. We may do same pattern, all these other semiconductor things. NVIDIA, all those resistance back there at that right shoulder and potential to go lower. ALB, good morning. ALB, just chopping down here, potential to go lower. TTD, potential to bounce, but that's just in a choppy garbage pattern. No, I would not say that's high probability to do anything. This looks very dangerous, especially with that candle where we popped up and just haven't been able to take it higher at all after that earnings. Earnings coming up here on May 8th may result in a bigger flush, or we may bust out of this consolidation. I wouldn't give it very high probability to do either. LED motors, lithium motors, LED, probably gonna retrace deeper. Support right there, right at the prior low. And resistance up here at the prior high. ENPH still consolidating under the roadmap line and still looks pretty nasty. Still looks pretty nasty. This could be working on a secondary kind of bounce of support, but pushing the limits here, not able to hold on to that roadmap line at all. Lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. BG, just a sideways, so much sideways. GD, General Dynamics, well, roadmap line, baby. That's where I would expect it. MAS, roadmap line. FLUT has the potential to bounce here. Gonna have to get above this gap down resistance right up here. Could come, and if we continue, we get any continuation lower, we could come down and gap fill that gap right there before we find support. EVO, nasty chart. Could be a roadmap bounce. And just not showing any enthusiasm to going higher. NVO probably wants to retrace to the roadmap line, but we're holding, you know, that channel doesn't even, the chart scale messed up on me. Let's see. There it is. Log mode, we're kind of hanging in the channel a little bit. Keep pushing the top. Hanging in the middle. Probably go revisit the bottom of it. Haven't been down there since, gosh, for 2 years. Probably due at some point. Now, can it keep riding higher? Sure. It can keep doing that forever. Not forever, but for longer than you can stay solvent in your money. And EDU finally got the retrace I was looking for. Now, do we hold here and turn higher again, or do we push for a deeper retrace? That's the big question. A move up through 89 sets it up for 107. Otherwise, we could be in for something deeper and more sinister on the retrace front. Correct that high. This bigger, deeper supports probably coming in down here where we consolidated all the way back in August of last year. Easily come back in there. All right, that was the list. Finally got to the bottom of the list. And circling back to Tesla one more time, the big mover of the day, finally going green. Dun, 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 dun. Resistance is right there at the roadmap line and the prior earnings gap down. That's resistance. I think we're going to see some tough time getting through there. We've had tough time getting through there before. We couldn't fill the gap. And we went on this current downtrend to support. We did hit my target, went just a little deeper, a little bit too enthusiastic on the downside. Totally expected, especially when we flush that big a move. I mean, that was a giant move off of that resistance at 264 all the way down to 136, 138. And now we have a long way to go to test the resistance. If we get above resistance, odds are we're going to cruise back on up and test this downtrend line. If we get above that downtrend line, we can start embarking on the bigger target up here to the 450 to 600 target area up there. Some intermediate targets along the way around 350 that we may go visit. So this is a big time frame, probably like, I don't know, 5 years, 8 years maybe to be up here. So know your time frame. If you're just playing for the smalls, play for the smalls. All right, play for the gap fill right now. That's the major resistance. Right up there. You can see it. Prior earnings right there, 207-ish. We're still way down here at 166. And be careful. If we start failing back into this box, easily go on down here to 100. Nobody wants to see that, but if we get back in this box, that's probably where we're going. All right. There you go. That's kind of the both ways there. The long and the short of it. All right, everybody. Bias for the day on S&P. Major resistance right up here at the 5150 area. Major resistance right up there. ES is a little more clear on this. Path forward. Right up there. Well, gotta pull it down. I did it on the other chart, didn't I? This is the one I actually used to watch. Right here, this is the indication to me. We had this little channel thing going. We broke out, we back tested. That may leave us with the potential to go higher here. Right up there's the resistance, that high, that low, that high from 28th of March down to this low, 18th of April, 618 retrace, which just happens to be right where the downtrend line comes in, right in here. Watch for that resistance. We get above that, tips the odds we can go cruising on up here, possibly as high as 5,400 at this point. All right. There you go. That's the bias for the day. We'll be back again tomorrow morning where we can talk about some of the earnings for the week. And let's see if I can pull up my chart. We've got Meta coming out tonight after the close, and IBM and Ford. So we'll be talking about those tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, we have Microsoft, Alphabet, Intel, Snap, Roku, Western Digital, T-Mobile. So those will be on Friday. And remember, we got that GDP report tomorrow. And we've got the PCE report on Friday. So could be a spicy end of the week. We'll see what we actually get to. So thank you for coming, everybody. Looks like the crowd's a little light. Give me a like if I said anything that was helpful, beneficial, informational,